It's your weekly Project Marvel update right here on Locked On Spurs. And today we're going to put into focus Prop A with Cody Davenport, CEO of San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to Locked On Spurs. You're doing the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Kins 5 San Antonio. Glad to have you all back. Hope you're having a great day. As always, thank y'all for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. Free and available wherever we get podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Kins 5 Plus app, YouTube. You know what to do. Subscribe. Continue being an everydayer that you are. It is time for your weekly Project Marvel update right here on Locked On Spurs. Now, for those of y'all who do not know what Project Marvel is, a quick, simple, dirty, obviously I'm going to miss a few things, but just the gist of it is an entertainment district called Project Marble. Within that entertainment district, there's going to be two sites. Obviously, everybody's talking about the main site, which is downtown San Antonio, which will have a revised entertainment district, a land bridge between Hemisphere Park and the Alamo Dome, and includes a proposed new Spurs downtown arena. But many forget or just don't know there's actually another side of this, and it's called Proposition B. I'm sorry, that should be that first one I should say. But Proposition A, here we go. So even I get so confused, deals with what's happening at the current Spurs home, which is over on the east side of San Antonio, and it's called the Frostbank Center, and is on the Stock Show and Road, pretty much the grounds. For those who ever know when they go into their yearly fiesta trip, why? Because the Stock Show is in town. That's why the Spurs vacate the Frostbank Center and are away for quite a while. That's what is in focus today. What's going on with those grounds? What's Project Marvel about when it comes to Proposition A? And so much more. It includes another. By the way, for those who don't know, there was actually another stadium next to the Frostbank Center. It's called the Freeman Coliseum. So it involves renovations to that. So much more. Look, I couldn't think of a better person to bring in to talk about Proposition A. Let's go ahead and bring him on. He is Cody Davenport, CEO of San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. Cody, welcome to Locked On Spurs. Appreciate you taking time out of your business schedule to join us here and help us understand better Proposition A.
You bet, Jeff. Good to be with you. We appreciate being here.
Absolutely. Now, again, just a little bit more background, Cody, before we dive into it. I believe it's roughly about a $4 billion plan just in total for Project Marvel. And then when it comes to the grounds for Proposition A, the Stock Show Rodeo grounds, where the Spurs currently play games at, they're looking there, or you and everybody else involved are looking there kind of like a revitalization of that downtown, well, that area as well on the east side of San Antonio. Can you give us kind of an overall view of what is the goal? What is behind Prop A? Cody, please enlighten us.
Yeah, sure. Happy to do it. You know, I would like to start back a little with a history and remind everybody that, Joe and Harry Freeman Coliseum donated these grounds down here to the county in 1949 through legislation, and it states for agricultural and expo purposes. So that was the beginning, the roots down here. It started as a livestock show. It evolved into a rodeo. And then, we're very grateful. Along came the Spurs, our partners. And we were running a pretty good little show down here, but the Spurs really allowed us to move to another level. When we went in together and we built the arena together over here that we currently know as Frostbank Center, it really elevated our rodeo, put us on the national stage in the big light and helped us grow. So I want to start by saying, the Spurs have been tremendous partners of ours. We owe a tremendous amount to them, to the growth level that we are at right now. Mm-hmm. And what we're looking at is the east side has always been our home down here on the grounds. And now as the Spurs are looking for a new home, this will remain our home down here. We are committed to the east side. And our plan, in essence, in Prop A, due to the size that we have grown to now, is to take what we do in the month of February and spread it out on a year-round basis. I would say very similar to successes you have seen in Calgary. Is a great example of an urban environment that has taken the Western industry and gone year-round. Our neighbors to the north, Fort Worth, have had tremendous success with this concept. Even Las Vegas in the month of December what they were able to do with the industry there in what was a dead month for Las Vegas. So we have examples of out there of taking this industry, spreading it out. What we're hoping to do is not do February as we know it now, over and over and over. We're not talking about rodeo repeating over and over. What we're talking about is embracing and bringing in a very wide, a very diverse, and an extremely stable industry, which is the Western industry. Prop A, it gives us the ability to build some facilities down here and put some renovations into existing facilities that will allow me to remain competitive. It'll allow me to go out across the nation and go out for events, cuttings, ropings, charreadas, Olympic pretrial type events and stuff, and bring them into San Antonio, in particular, bring them down on these grounds. But to be able to do that, we have to have facilities that will compete within the initial. Prop A allows the rodeo to fill in these grounds, give it an identity down here that it desperately needs. We reference all the time, it's an asphalt jungle down here. It's very
it is
with the buildings, if you get away from the Frost Bank Centers, it does not have an identity down here. This will allow us to give this area an identity and allow us to bring in people from around the nation to San Antonio, which is a destination location that this industry is hungry to come to.
Absolutely. Cody, I want to ask you something. One of the biggest confusion points among residents that are looking ahead at the November vote or the early voting process is, well, who's going to pay for this? This is all you hear. Spurs Arena this and Entertainment District this. But the stock show is also involved in this too. What do you want to tell residents about payment for Prop A and how this is going to be funded?
Yeah, it's really, there is mass amounts of confusion out there. There is. And quite frankly, I'm a simple person and I try to make things very simple, and it's really not that difficult. The bottom line is, this is tourism. This is outside money that is designed to pay for this. That is designed through your hot tax, your hotel occupancy tax. It is designed through the car rentals. This is a mechanism that is used in all the cities around the nation that are competing with San Antonio. When you travel somewhere and you are paying this if you're traveling to a city. This is outside dollars that is paying for this. It is not a property tax. It is not a sales tax. We as citizens here, we're not paying for it. It is being used by our competing cities out there everywhere. It is a very, common tax that is implemented out there to help drive more tourism. Type people I'm talking about bringing in that we have done, forever down here. We bring in people from every county in the state of Texas, and they stay an average of 3 days here. This is not local money cycling back through. This is true tourism dollars coming in. Our economic impact studies show they're going to the Riverwalk, they're going to the zoo. We can show you the hotels are staying in proximity here to the restaurants they're eating, all that kind of stuff. Outside dollars coming into this area to pay for these upgrades and these renovations.
Yeah, because I think as a whole, from the feedback I've been getting from residents here in Barrow County is, well, who's going to pay for everything? And for the there are a few that actually understand that Prop A deals with the stock show and the Frost Bank Center area, Freeman Coliseum. They understand that, but they apply that question to Prop A as well. Well, okay, so there's Prop B downtown, then there's Prop A. This is just a lot of money, and I think a lot of residents have reservations because they hear and they see stuff like the flood control, flooding situations. San Antonio needs to improve, education, cost of living. The list goes on and on, Cody. Sure. I guess you could understand where some of the little confusion would stem from.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, just 100%. I understand. I understand the confusion. I understand being, nervous and anti-tax and all those things. I understand 100%. It's just not as black and white. It is literally tourism dollars coming into this, designed to create more tourism, designed to put infrastructure in place here that we can bring people into our vibrant city. I get it. And you bet there's always going to be two sides to stuff. I just think if people would really sit back and think about, what the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo does. We're a nonprofit giving out average of $12 million a year in giving. We are all about community. That's all we are. That's why we exist. Our mission completely is youth in the state of Texas. So when we talk about community and giving and stuff, that's all we are. Now, you want to talk about the Spurs? I mean, let's face it, they're an iconic identity for our
Right.
city. Good that they bring, the giving back that they do inside of the community. You know, from the radio side and my side, we love the Spurs. The Spurs are ingrained into this community, and you're talking about a mechanism for taxation that is not affecting us as locals. Now, could you spin it 100 different ways and come up with ways that, sure, there's certain little areas and things like that it could be ourselves. So you bet. But when you get down to it and you look at what the Spurs have proposed as far as what their investment inside of this is in this market, you know, what they're looking to give back into their community, I mean, it's really not that difficult to think that we are not paying for it.
Hey, let's talk about Monarch Money. Most people can't name their financial accounts or even know what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And whether you don't have the full picture, you could end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you've been putting off organizing your finances, Monarch will help you. How about this? Monarch does the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Hey, can you identify that you're not saving as much as you thought? Monarch can help you. They'll give you a notice of insufficient investment allocation and discover forgotten 401ks from past jobs. Maximizing investments, increasing your savings rate. You can easily review your finances with your partner or financial advisor, keeping a clear view of your financial health week to week and long term. Look, don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNBA. You know, focusing a little bit on the east side, because obviously this would hopefully, you know, if it does pass, you know, it would impact greatly in a positive way the east side. But looking back at the time, wasn't that what the Frost Bank, or at least that time, the SBC Center, wasn't that what's supposed to happen to the east side? How do you make east siders feel comfortable about moving forward should they decide to go that direction and, you know, and not relive the empty promises made way back when?
Sure. Yeah, I think that, you know, from our side, from San Antonio Stock Show and Radio side, we are tied into the east side and we're committed to it. What I would say is that you essentially have here, you know, an anchored tenant that started here, that has always been here, as a nonprofit that has stepped forward to our east side community and said, we love this home. We're not going anywhere. So much so that we as a nonprofit are willing to, as an operation, you know, expand risk involved, financial planning, all this advancement. We are willing to take what we have done in the month of February, and we're willing to go year round. We are so committed to the east side, so committed to these facilities, so committed to these grounds that we literally are willing to take our operations and go year round. We're going to protect these grounds. We will not allow it to become the next, you know, Astrodome that they reference out and stuff like that. These grounds down here need an anchor tenant like us that is committed to it. And, you know, we have always been here. And so, yeah, from the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, I think we're making a very big commitment to our east side community.
Yeah, and you know, when for you know, there's probably a few Spurs fans checking this show out right now, be like, that's great, you know, but all I care about is Prop B, because that's where the Spurs might play, you know, down the road and whenever it's built and everything. But at the same time, it almost feels kind of like a synchronicity here, like, you know, two great things happening. Okay, let's just pretend, you know, it's November and the results are here and Prop A and B get thumbs up and we move forward. You know, it's almost it's kind of odd, but in a way, it's good that the Spurs for you guys are moving out of the Frost Bank Center, should that happen, downtown, because the team organization, they get the new home that they're looking for, and you guys begin revitalizing the east side. So it's funny, Cody. It's like, yeah, you know, get out, Spurs. We need this grounds.
We definitely look at this as the greatest opportunity our show has faced, quite frankly. You know, we were hesitant when we first found out they're leaving, like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? That didn't last long. We have been built to get to this point for years, from people calling, wanting to come in here in the industry. And I've had to tell them, I don't know, I can't do it. You know, I don't own the facilities, all these types of things. We have been building for this moment. So I think this is the greatest opportunity that our show has faced. I think the Spurs' dedication to, you know, watching us and encouraging us in our process, knowing that for them to be successful, we needed to take care of these grounds down here too. We are somewhat tied together, you know. The rodeo needs to step up. The rodeo needs, to fulfill this role down here and take care of the east side. The Spurs know that. And we need them to be successful. I say this a lot. What a gift, we should not be negative about, in the sense that San Antonio, Texas has two iconic brands, the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo and the San Antonio Spurs.
Absolutely.
And both of those brands have been blessed by our community enough to grow to a size that we literally have outgrown each other. That should be looked at as a gift to San Antonio, not a big negative. Right. We have outgrown each other. And I laugh all the time. RC and I joke with each other. He's like, I know you want me out of here. And I said, well, not really, RC, but I do have the moving truck idling in the parking lot. But we love our Spurs. We love our growth that has taken place here together. But we both are primed in an opportunity, literally, to give more to our community in size.
We're talking with CEO of the Stock Show and San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, Cody Davenport, right here on Locked On Spurs. We're talking about Prop A, the other side of the coin, to Project Marvel. This includes, basically in a nutshell, what could possibly happen should the vote get the thumbs up in November, to where the Spurs are currently playing, which is on the Stock Show grounds. Again, you all hear when the Spurs go to the rodeo road trip? Yeah, because the Stock Show's in town. That's why. That's the man you're seeing right now.
And no one has to be attacking me about the rodeo road trip anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But that's it's Cody, it's like going back to what they're talking about, having the moving trucks idling and everything. And again, it's like a positive because you guys obviously get to do what y'all want to do, the year-round rodeo vibe, revitalizing the east side, you guys being the anchor to the east side, and then Spurs go downtown. And Cody, I think the last time the Spurs had at least City of San Antonio hosted an all-star game was back in the 90s. It's long overdue. So in a way, again, Prop A and Prop B synchronize to each other to make San Antonio possibly, more on the map than the city already is. Your thoughts?
Oh, I agree with you 100%. I go back to, there are so many cities out there that would die to have a rodeo of our size and a basketball team of the size of the Spurs and success of them, that literally at a point that they're growing and needing more room. There's cities out there that would die for both of those entities to be that level. And I look at it as a positive. Both of us have long histories in this, city, long history in this community. We're not new entities that have just popped up, decided we want to drop in here. I think you're looking at two entities that have given so much to this community, and we're asking for more room so that we can do more. I go back to being a nonprofit. We did $12 million in giving last year to our youth. We want to do all this so that we can grow and give more. That's what we're passionate about. So I don't need to grow because I need more work to do or anything like that. We want to grow so that we can fulfill our mission at the level that it deserves to be fulfilled.
Yeah, absolutely. Cody, I let's just pretend like we have a crystal ball here. We're looking to November, and the crystal ball shows us, hey, Project Marvel passes, Prop A, good to go. From that point on, in this hypothetical world we're in right now, what would be the first thing the residents of San Antonio, Bexar County, Eastsiders would see moving forward? Obviously, it's going to be years, by the time, everything gets done. But how soon would the city experience starting the changes? How quickly are you guys and your team going to get on, making sure that future does become a reality? What kind of timeline we're talking like here?
Well, I think a lot of things you wouldn't see immediately, right? But we're under, these are big projects we're talking about, right? And you're looking at, a minimum of 5-year build out timeline on something like this. For an arena downtown and here on these grounds for the full build out, you're looking at 5 years. And a year of that would literally be defined plans, engineering, a lot of what we reference, the soft costs that you wouldn't see a lot of traction on and stuff like that. But what would be happening behind the scenes, number one, I speak from our side, is that in our industry, we would be out there, working across the nation, studying contracts that are expiring for, say, national cuttings, national reining events, things of that nature that are expiring. I would be in there talking to people about, okay, look, your contract expires in 3 years. I want to show you what we're building here. And I would start recruiting. I would be out working contracts in our industry to be bringing people down there. So really, we kind of need that time. You can't just flip a switch and say overnight, okay, man, I've got, Western events going on down here, every single night. It's going to take time. That period of the building side of things would allow us to go out and be securing these contracts. So when the facilities are completed and we flip that light switch on, I am prepared to be bringing everybody in.
Yeah, and I think it's another thing where residents of Bexar County get a little, confused about. They think it's Prop A, Prop B, Prop Tomorrow passes. Okay, where is it? Like, where is it? It's not going to happen that way. It's going to be a long build out, not just on the east side where the stock show is right now, but also downtown San Antonio. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. You'll love FanDuel because it just fits everything you need. You can build a same-game parlay, do player props, jump into live action as the action unfolds. Make every moment more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. Quick, easy, the best way to add a little more energy to Sundays. Cowboys have started their season. Texans are starting their season, so might as well jump on FanDuel right now. You ready to play? Download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. Cody, a few more things before I let you go. I know you're a busy man here.
No problem.
When you're talking about what the vision is for the grounds right now, it kind of reminded me of the Fort Worth stockyards. Is that kind of the idea? Is that kind of a blueprint?
Yeah, I would definitely say the easiest is to reference our friends up north, in Fort Worth. They've had great success, across the board in embracing the Western industry. They see the power of the outside money coming in, and from behind that, they've had great success with it. Fort Worth, the stockyards down there. Ironically, in the stockyards, their studies show that one of the top 3 feeder markets for that whole Western experience up there is people from San Antonio.
Interesting.
Which, is, for me, as a guy running the major rodeo, it's embarrassing that my own San Antonio constituents are all up there in Fort Worth to get the experience, but it's also a good sign in the sense that, it has success. Fort Worth is a great place. I think that one of the best studies we have done is up in Calgary. Calgary, their Stampede up there resides in an urban environment up there, and yet the whole community embraces it. Calgary's done a wonderful job of blending the urban and the Western culture and creating an experience, the Stampede, that the whole city, the whole area, embraces. And that is where, we study a lot and we see great success. And the last component, I think I mentioned earlier, Las Vegas, the absolute best in the business of bringing in, tourists and that aspect of the business plan. The Las Vegas they go into Oklahoma City and they take the NFR away from it, take it up to Vegas as we know it now, because they had a dead month in the month of December. And if you go there now, every casino, every bar, every restaurant, everything they embrace the whole Western culture. There's even a casino there, Michael Ghana, South Point Casino, where he built his casino off the strip, put an arena in the middle of it, and operates year round in this Western industry, keeping his, hotel rooms, restaurants, casinos, everything full with people traveling in to use that arena. So there's lots of examples out there of this. This is not something that we woke up and said, hey, wouldn't this be a fun idea to try? This is something that has been established, had great success, a lot of blueprints out there that we can learn from. And not to be like boastful, but our San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo is known around the nation as the top in the business. We've won multiple awards. We're constantly traveling the country. We're asked to speak all over the place. In the Western industry, we are at the top of the chain there. So to take our brand and parlay that with all these other entities that want to come here, it's all teed up for us right now.
Oh, Cody, I see those banners inside the Frostbank Center. I see them hanging next to those Spurs retired jerseys. So kudos to you guys. Are you been kind of surprised a little bit I'm going to say a little bit, just surprised in general of some certain individuals in this local city government that have been kind of pushing back on this. Are you surprised by that?
I wouldn't say I'm surprised.
Okay.
Everybody has their roles, and they have their platforms they stand on. I respect that.
Okay.
I wish I was better at my job, maybe that I could express more to people and make it clearer, and not as confusing. I think there's a lot of confusion out there, as you referenced on the front side.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And I don't know if I necessarily fault anybody for the pushback. I just think that we all would stop and really bear down on the facts, that we would see that, okay, there's some things there, but really, when you look at the whole situation, the whole picture, how the money's being used, what the plans are, what the Spurs are giving of themselves inside, they're giving a considerable amount for an NBA franchise, how the NBA works as a whole. I think if we really were to bear down and study this stuff, it's not difficult at all. I think what happens is, and I'm guilty of this as well too, sometimes if there's issues going on out there to vote on, and I don't really dive down into them, and I stay on the surface of it, and I just do sound bites, it's very easy for me to knee jerk a certain direction. But if I really study things, then it's a little bit different. I think this is a great example of that. If everybody would really study and dive in there, I get it all the time when I'm talking with people, visiting with people. I hear their first response, and I understand where they're coming from. But when you really start breaking it down with them, you almost can see them light up and start saying, okay, there's a lot more to this. I see this. This is not hitting my property taxes, and I'm not paying for these people, and it clarifies it. So I don't know. I'm not a politician. I was paid to run a rodeo, so it's a new role for me. But I do find that the key is just to really understand it.
I'm sitting here thinking about, Project Marvel and, the stock show grounds right now on the east side, and then downtown, what could be possibly, and I would find it ironic that, let's just say Project Marvel passes and we're all good to go. And once it's all said and done, it's over. The downtown's revitalized, entertainment district, Spurs Arena, stock show, revitalized as well, bigger and better. That people from downtown are saying, hey, let's go to the east side. I can see that happening. Like right now, everybody's like trying to get out after a game. I can see everybody trying to come back to the east side. Cody, it
is mine and everybody in this office here's greatest desire and for that to happen. We're passionate about it. We can see it. We believe in it. We know the type clients we're bringing in here can support these things. And we're embracing our community around here too, locally, doing some really neat things with the youth in the area. There's long over, due, and it's a lot of fun to witness this happen. We're very excited. And that is my dream, that you would leave a basketball game and say, you know what, I want to go down to those grounds. I understand they've got a band playing down there. There's some fun stuff. Then you're fulfilling my dream.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be awesome for San Antonio if all things pass with Project Marvel. Cody, before I let you go, I want to give you the last word. We got early voting coming up in a few days, and we got the real deal in November, early November. Your message to those that are for Project Marvel, against Project Marvel, or maybe haven't decided yet.
Yeah, I would say one, of course, I'm Proposition A.
Obviously,
I'm the rodeo side of things. Of course, I want my Spurs to have success as well. I do. I would say for the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, I would just ask you you've given us so much support all these years, and hopefully we have delivered to the community here, and that's why they continue supporting us. They believe in us. Hopefully, we've been here since 1949. We have proven ourselves. All we are asking is give us a chance, believe in us as you have for all these years. Give us a chance to do the good that we've been doing, but expand upon it. Just give us a chance at that.
Absolutely. He is Cody Davenport, CEO of the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, and he was just too modest. I found out he actually dunked on Wembanyama the other day. Hey, Cody, how did you do it, Cody? Seriously, how did you do it?
Young stuff.
You're like, we can't embarrass a franchise guy like that. Again, Cody Davenport, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're going to be busy in the next coming days, weeks. So again, thank you for helping us understand Prop A better. how it helps the East Side and also helps the Spurs as well. Cody, we thank you tremendously for taking time out of your schedule.
Jeff, we appreciate you very much. Thank you for having us.
Anytime. But I do have great memories of the Freeman Coliseum, going to see the Von Erichs wrestle at the old Freeman Coliseum.
I've got some memories there too. Yes, sir. But you'll still activate that thing. You'll get some more memories out of it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, everybody else, we thank y'all for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. If you're in Develop, wherever you get podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Kens5 Plus app, YouTube, know what to do. Subscribe right now. We'll be back tomorrow as the Spurs offseason still rolls on. Regular season right around the corner, so stick with us right here on Locked On Spurs. So for Cody Davenport, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.